Of the many differences between the movie Titanic and history, one in particular is impressive. In the movie, as the ship is sinking, the first-class passengers struggle to climb into the small number of lifeboats. Only the determination of the brave seamen, who use guns to keep back the selfish millionaires, gets the women and children into the boats. In fact, according to survivors' accounts, the women and children first convention was observed among the upper, that is, first and second classes. The statistics make this plain. In first class, every child was saved, as were all but 5 of 144 women, 3 of whom chose to die with their husbands. By contrast, 70% of the men in first class died. In second class, which was also inhabited by rich professional types, 80% of the women were saved, but 90% of the men drowned. The men on the first class list of the Titanic virtually made up the Forbes 400 of the time. John Jacob Astor, who was supposed to be the richest man in 15 America at the time, is said to have fought his way to a boat, put his wife in it, and then, refusing to take a seat, stepped back and waved her goodbye. In other words, some of the most powerful men in the world stuck firmly to an unwritten code of honor, even though it meant certain death. The movie makers altered the story for good reason. No one would believe it today. We have freed our upper classes of any sense of responsibility, and they have happily returned us the favor. In modern thinking, they are just like any of us, regular folk. We behave as if society is so democratic and dynamic that it doesn't actually have a governing elite. But it does. The rich and the powerful will always be with us. We can only ask that they recognize that with their privileges come responsibilities. Social conventions, professional associations, moral obligations, the gentleman's code, all were attempts to civilize the strong. In the past, American society expected these men and women to behave themselves and in some way participate in the public life of the land. Near East Potomac Park in Washington, D.C., stands a monument with a piece of writing on its base. To the brave men of the Titanic, who gave their lives that women and children might be saved. It was erected by I's contributions from 25,000 women across the United States. When leaders of society lived up to their ideals, they were honored. When they did not, it was a matter of deep disappointment. Today, by contrast, we expect very little of those in positions of power, and they rarely disappoint us.